Hey everybody, and welcome to another edition of Craft Brewed Sports. That's Mookie over there.
What's up, what's up?
I'm Mike. This is Craft Brewed Sports. It's Wednesday night. It's time to crack your cans, pop your bottles, join in for the drunkest takes on the internet. Mookie, how you feeling tonight, man?
Well, I'm feeling good, man. We got a lot of content to cover tonight. We've already been chopping it
Dude.
up over here. Like, we've been having to hold back.
The content machine just unloaded on us. As of yesterday, I was like, ooh, it's going to be a sparse show. We're going to have to fill in. I was like, I'll watch some Cheer on Netflix and see if we can do a C block on that.
We did talk about that, and I highly support that choice. But you know what the cool thing is, man? You know what's been going on? You know I've been getting app alerts on my phone about?
What's that?
Spring training baseball. There it is. There you go. I came in tuned up and ready to roll. Here we go. Let's go Tigers. Seriously, already getting full game scores and stuff. Honestly, did not think they were at that point yet. Pitchers and catchers were last weekend, and they're already playing games.
It's quick, man. It goes quick.
I think there was like a week between or whatever. But hey, here we go. Hey, it's summer, y'all. Baseball time.
Baseball
Let's do this.
And we don't have any baseball on the docket for the night.
Nope.
We're gonna recap this Wilder Fury fight because that was some bananas.
Oh my goodness!
The craziest excuses I've ever heard. I want to break down Wilder's excuses for that fight.
I want to hear Cardi B break down Wilder's excuses.
We are also going to talk this NFL CBA and the news around that. There's also some news around NCAA transfers. There's some proposal going around on that. And then coming up at 8:30 tonight, we do have an interview with Drew Wiley. He's a linebacker at Villanova, an NFL hopeful. So we're going to talk to him, get his thoughts on his prep for the draft, what he's got coming up, and maybe some XFL talk with him. I think he'd be a good dude to talk XFL with.
As long as we don't talk college hoops with him, I'm down.
I might have a question or two about that before.
I'll let you lean in, and I'll sit out and ride it. Like it is what it is. Like Xavier.
Dude, we could talk college hoops if you want later.
Oh, I'm in for some college hoops, not
it's so
Nova
disappointing.
hoops.
Yeah, absolutely. I totally agree with you on that. Well, before we get into any of that, though, thank you to 12 Ounce Sports Radio. We are live on Facebook Live here and on 12 Ounce Sports Radio. Be sure to hit that share button. Let your friends know what's going on here on the show. We already do have a couple people sharing us out. Glenn helping us out, sharing out the show, and then 12 Ounce Sports Radio retweeting the show here on Facebook Live. Thank you guys for hooking us up. Put this in front of your friends' eyes. Let them hear this craziness and ridiculousness. Let's talk about this beer that we are drinking this week because this is one I was super pumped for. Man, without Joe here, dude, I am just a mess. I'm not even going to lie, dude. It is... Hang on. This is me vamping until
That's fine. I feel that because I'm sitting over here. I was like, oh, right. I was going to try to be better at reading the Facebook comments, and I can't figure out. Like, I got our video. I see.
You got swipe.
Joe just posted. You got swipe.
It
left?
takes me a while. It took me a while too, man. Other way. Swipe the other way.
Yeah, I don't.
This
do
is
Facebook.
First Pour brought to you by.
This
is First Pour brought to you by Dugout Mugs. We got the hookup for you, everybody. You want to drink from bats just like we do now that it is spring training. Hit up dugoutmugs.online/craft. You get 10% off your entire order. They got bottle openers, they got wine glasses, baseball bat beer mugs, and even baseball bat shot glasses. They got it all, man.
And we can neither confirm nor deny if these bats were used to hit baseballs or trash cans. You know,
either way, still fun to drink out of.
They were filling their role.
So be sure to hit them up, dugoutmugs.online/craft, and get 10% off that entire order. This week's beer that we are drinking, we have Diamond Star Halo DDH IPA. I love when it's a DDH IPA, double dry hopped, baby. This is from Single Cut Beersmiths in Astoria, New York. A 6.6% brew. Here's what they have to say: bursting with pineapple and mango papaya.
Yeah.
Highlighted by sweet orange juice, a puff of sticky kush. Gotta love the...
You are absolutely right about these brewers talking about their hops like they're weed. Damn.
A puff of sticky kush. What
the hell does that mean?
I don't know, man. And I don't really taste much kush in this.
I was going to say, is this like an SEO thing? Like, hey, people will find our shit if we say kush.
It's very possible. That's very possible that's what they do. It's got a lingering tropical punch finish, they say. Initial thoughts, man. What do you think of this beer from the jump?
I really like it. I could taste the fruit. I couldn't quite tell what it was, but when you said, what was it? Pineapple and mango papaya, I'm like, oh, yep, that's what that is. And it's good. It's crisp. It's light. It finishes just a little... it could be a little tighter on the back end there, but it's good. I like it.
Would you say it's got a slight puff of sticky kush at the end?
I've never eaten a puff of sticky Kush, so maybe. I don't know. I feel like that's just like eating a waffle fart or something. I don't know. I do appreciate the can, though. The can is super cool. How did you describe it to me to go get out the fridge?
I said it's a star with Rolling Stones lips on it.
No, you said Mick Jagger.
I did say Mick Jagger lips.
I was like, word, got you. All right, I'll find that easy.
And you found it pretty easily.
Oh, yeah,
it looks
like
like
that.
It looks like a Rocky Horror Picture Show on a star is what this looks like. What this can looks like.
But it's rocking the halo, though. What's about that?
It's because the name of the beer is Diamond Star Halo.
Oh, right, because I listened. I did. But no, it's good. I'm appreciating it. We'll see how this holds up, though. We'll have to see. With that finish,
I'm digging it.
Bit.
I'm digging it off the jump here.
A
lot of fruit flavor on this one. Not much puff of sticky Kush. This has been First Pour, brought to you by dugoutmugs.online/craft. Hit that up. 10% off your entire order. Look at that. I'm handling business over here.
Yeah, I'm going to say, I'm really going to have to step it up next week and not show up a couple natter days to the wind and be like, yeah, you got this, right, Mike?
How many natter days deep are you right now?
No comment.
My man, I love
because we go public, right?
Yeah, I love when people come in drunk on the show. That's the way to do it.
I'm not drunk.
Some of the best shows.
I'm not drunk. I'm just like a little loose,
loosey goosey.
Like I stretched out. I feel good. I had 5-10 minutes on the treadmill. I'm like ready to go lift some weights. If by weights you mean beers, because I'm definitely not doing any of that. You see these? It's fine. We're not. It's pitchers and catchers just reported. All right, I'm working it.
They did, and Joe's dad chiming in on the Facebook Live feed saying that he saw a game in Bradenton and Clearwater this past weekend. I saw his pictures. He was at the Pirates Philadelphia spring training game earlier this week. I was watching that one on TV, and good Lord, John Kruk is the most annoying announcer I've ever heard in my life.
Wait, so was this on ESPN? He's still on ESPN?
No, it was MLB TV.
Okay, I was going to say, I haven't seen John Kruk in like forever.
Well,
see, I don't know how to get to that view on here. I see 4 things. Damn it, Facebook.
Just blame it on Facebook, man. That's all you got to do.
I can't figure this shit out.
All right, I want to talk this
People
Wilder.
want me about the Snapchat and filters and stuff. Damn.
I want to talk about this Wilder Fury fight. So, did you watch any of the fight this weekend? Did
yes,
you see it?
I watched your comments about it.
All right.
I had honestly though, I had wanted to, but I knew we were going to be out doing stuff, and the places we were at didn't have it on TV.
That's surprising. This was like the first big heavyweight title fight in a long time. Like if you think about boxing, that's how boxing is popular. It's based all on the heavyweight division. People don't really care about the lower divisions. I guess you can make the argument that Mayweather and Pacquiao kind of spearheaded boxing for a while and kept the sport afloat, but it seems like boxing is always best when there's good heavyweights and there's like a good draw at the heavyweight division. And Wilder and Fury both qualify as that.
Yeah, and I'm not going to disagree, except that like I've heard that, but I honestly don't know. Like the heavyweights that I have heard of were Mike Tyson, and I was a kid then. Like I didn't watch boxing. Like
Evander Holyfield.
Did I said Mike Tyson, right? Okay. Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. I was like, shit, did I screw that name up? Did I go Micah Vanderfield?
No, I'm just saying, that's another one you would have heard of.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, but again, that was back in, what was that? Like it feels like it was late 90s, early 2000s.
We were young, man.
Yeah, and then when I was in college, one of our neighbors, he used to always get the pay-per-views, and it was awesome. It was just like so hood, and it was like it was potluck situation. It was TVs on the porches. I showed up, we crushed beers all day. And I didn't know anything about boxing. And, like, he walked me through it, and, like, that was really cool, and I appreciated it. But I didn't know who any of these dudes were. And he was just like, yo, he's working the jab here to come with the guy. I was like, oh, I see. That's cool. Nice. Oh, he also just got laid out. And like, so it was very entertaining. I had fun, but, like, I didn't have any name recognition because I just showed up because he was having a party. And I appreciate that with, like, I got into MMA again, around that same time, a little bit later. And I could appreciate that because we did have some names with that, like the GSP era and stuff like that.
Right.
Bones Jones, early in his career before cocaine. Before he got caught with it. Like, let's be real, dude was doing it the whole time and still is. But like, and I got into that too because you could follow the fighters. Like, I think that's what's key is, and kind of like what college basketball and the NBA have to deal with is like if fans can follow players, fighters, whatever. That's how you build a narrative and storylines that draws viewers in. If your raw sport just can't hold it on its own.
Right.
Hashtag soccer. Get it together, soccer. Because baseball has this on lock.
So that's where
Mike Trout. I told you I'm leaning into baseball. Like I'm going to do it. I'm going to lean in on baseball.
Too hard. Like even baseball fans are like, "What's Mike Trout sound like?"
Yeah, I know.
All right, well, here's the story with this Fury Wilder fight. So there were a lot of people that were disappointed in the outcome. Wilder got manhandled by Fury. Some folks saw that coming. Our good friend of the show, Money Blakeweather, called that from the beginning. Derek Bowe was another one in the Facebook group who had called this fight from the beginning. As great as that all is, and all the boxing technicality and how Fury worked him and all that stuff, I want to talk about these entrances. Like,
I was going to say, like, I'm seeing the pictures up here. Like, are the folks seeing this?
No, they're not seeing this yet.
Control.
This was the first time that I've ever seen like boxing meets like World Wrestling Entertainment. Like it was WWE style with these entrances. Tyson Fury.
This feels even classier than WWE though. Like look at these dudes.
Here's how Tyson Fury came to the ring. This dude came carried, like people were carrying a throne that he was sitting on. He was draped in a king's garb. He had a crown on. Like this dude was full on Gypsy King style. How he was brought to the ring. Clearly,
is that
sending
like a
message.
green package of McDonald's French fries in his hand there, or is that just something in the crowd?
That's his glove. He was rocking green gloves.
I see it now. All right.
So that was how Tyson Fury came to the ring. Very showy. It was a big spectacle of him coming to the ring. However, it paled in comparison to how Deontay Wilder came to the ring because this dude showed up looking like
sell out. It says clearly the logo on his chest.
It was this, like when I saw him come out, he looked like an evil villain in a superhero movie, like coming out with eyes that were glowing red. I want to know like how much battery power was needed to operate this suit.
How many volts?
He's got like
need to know,
skulls
Dante,
on
how
the
many
shoulder
volts?
blades. Like this was an intricate ring walk. It was so intricate that Wilder actually is blaming this on his loss. He is saying that part of the reason why he lost was because this uniform, as he called it, was too heavy. He said it was about 40 to 45 pounds.
I heard
he put it on
that,
15 minutes before the fight.
And he was wearing it for a while he was in the ring too. Like
Right.
But that's on yo dumbass. Like seriously? Like come on, man. Like I understand what they're doing here, but you know what? Fury was smart. He had dumbasses carry him in, right? He was like, "Yo, I'm gonna just sit here. I'm gonna wave to my people. I'm gonna get in there. I'm gonna knock you out." And like this other guy, like Deontay, what do you like? 40 pounds? 40 pounds doesn't sound like a lot, but like that's a lot. Like that's a bag of dog food.
It's dude, that's like carrying around my son. Like that's like, and Adam Maloney said it in the Facebook group. That's like giving his 5-year-old a piggyback ride for like 15 minutes before the fight, and then carrying him to the ring as a piggyback ride, and then going out and fighting a heavyweight boxing match.
Who's trying to murder you? Fighting a dude who's trying to murder you. Like, and that's why I don't understand. Like, where is Don King in all this? Because you know that he wouldn't be, sending his fighters out like that. Like, he would say, "Hey, listen, we need to make a spectacle. We need to do this, but then you need to go knock his ass out."
Right. If you're
like
gonna show up,
it's about that money.
If you're gonna
right?
show up to the ring like that, if you're gonna show up dressed like a villain from a superhero movie, you better bring the pain. Like you have to win the fight.
Oh, absolutely. But no. Not what. Who cares about the fight? It's about the money, right? I don't know what the purse was like there. I'm sure the winner got a little bit more than the loser for this fight specifically. But in the contract, the winner got 60% of the gates for the next fight for the third one.
Oh, okay.
Which we all knew was going to happen.
Well, they both had an automatic. They could request a.
They had a player option, if you will. Yeah,
right.
You could request a rematch within 30 days, but the winner of said fight got 60% of the gate for the rematch. So it wasn't necessarily about winning this fight; it's about winning this fight. So the other idiot had to pay had to pay you 10% to come back in, either get his ass beat or set up for a fourth fight. And so I don't know why Deontay was wearing 40 pounds of like chainmail before that. Like,
so
do you know how many steroids he had to take on top of what he was already shooting to be able to offset that?
Here's what kills me about Wilder. In his post-fight interview, he's in the ring and he's like, no excuses. He was the better fighter. He gave you that whole lip service of this is, it's what happens. He came out, he was ready to go. No excuses, no excuses. And then for the last week, he has had nothing but the worst excuses. He fired his trainer for throwing in the towel. He accused one of his trainers of working with the Fury camp to throw in the towel early. And then he blames it on his outfit that he wore to the ring. Like, dude, you said no excuses. Stop making all these excuses. You lost. You got your ass beat by a dude who fought better than you did on that night. That's all you have to say. Get ready for the next fight. Get ready for round 3. Like that's all you have to do at this point. And that should be all Wilder is saying is like, yeah, he beat me. I'm ready for round 3. Like I'm ready to go. Let's do it again. Run it back.
Moving on, because like I could keep going into that and lean into it. You're right, but it just there's really no content there. Like yeah, it was dumb. There were so many things they could have done differently, and like they had every eye tuned in after their
except for yours.
Well, I couldn't pay for it. I remember now. Honestly, it did take me a hot second to remember what we were doing, but we were at this cocktail bar that didn't have TVs, and I was like, oh, that's cool.
Is that the cocktail bar where you had hams?
No, they didn't judge me for hams, man. Oh, the hams and bacon. Yeah, it was that bar. Oh, it was hot.
Nice.
Oh, it was so good. It was cold, but like at the same time, I thought about it after the fact. It's like, well, what you wanted like have a microwave to like warm it up. So I regret nothing though. It was good. It was a good $1.50 well spent. Candied bacon. I'm
nothing wrong with that. That's
nothing wrong with that whatsoever.
Especially with the hams on the side. Let's talk. All right. So the other thing I want to get into before we get into our interview with Drew Wiley is this NCAA transfer rule proposal, because there's a lot of hot takes that have been flying on this one. This one just got announced today. The news just came out. So there's a proposal that is basically saying
okay. I haven't heard anything about this, to be fair.
Good. Perfect. We get your initial reactions right here on the show. So the rule is being floated that they want to take football, basketball, the main sports, and have a uniform transfer rule where basically players are allowed a one-time transfer without any penalty. They don't have to sit out. There's nothing you have to apply for the NCAA, no exemptions, nothing like that. You get a one-time transfer rule, and then after that, you can transfer. You may have to sit out. You may have to apply for an exemption, whatever. But each player would have the opportunity to transfer one time with no penalties whatsoever.
Is there a character limit to hot takes? Because, man, the shit you have in here is like paragraphs.
Well, this was from an article on ESPN. So let's.
Oh, they like to go on about a bitch. I get it.
And I'm not going to read all of them. You know what I'm saying? But I do want to.
Let me give you the Drew Gotts hot take first.
Okay.
That's the most important one.
That is the Drew Gotts hot take. Let's hear Drew's hot take.
It's about damn time. You know what I'm saying? Let the kids figure it out. And if it's a one-time thing, I think that's appropriate because, like, here's the thing, right? Like, some of us went to college, not all of us. Some were smarter enough to not waste thousands of dollars to go do things they could do by being professionals living in the real world. Congratulations for you. I myself was an idiot that paid for college. And it's tough to find the right place. And that means a lot. Like, what you're doing, where you're doing it, the size in which you're doing it. Like, if you go small school, maybe you belong to a big school. Like, it's just hard to figure that out. And I can only imagine having to make that decision with, like, true D1A athletics layered on top. And that's got to be tough.
Yeah, it's real. It's got to be real.
You know what I mean? And, like, let's be honest. Like, if you are from Cincinnati, you never leave Cincinnati. And so if UC or Xavier doesn't offer you, then you're going to have to go somewhere else if you want to keep playing ball. And maybe you need time to figure out if that's for you, right? You know what I'm saying? Like,
let's take it one step further. Let's say you love a coach. He's your guy. You want to do nothing but play for this guy. You sign on the dotted line. You play one season, and then he gets a job and goes somewhere else. And now you're stuck at a program that you didn't really care for, but you're playing for that coach. But now the coach is gone. You should have the ability to leave that school without any penalty. You shouldn't have to sit out for that. And I know sometimes the NCAA will grant that, and that's part of the reason why they are doing this proposal is to basically say we got inundated with requests and it's better to just kind of get rid of this altogether. Here's some of the hot takes that came around.
Well, real quick, what it was is they hired the consulting firm that built the Obama health insurance portal to build their transfer portal, and they're like, we're tired of this shit always breaking in to deal with it. So y'all get one free. Don't bother us. You know, just like don't at me. Don't slide in my DMs. Like, one free. Done. Cool. Stop emailing me about it, yo.
And then for everyone after that, they'll treat it just like an insurance company. Just deny everything that comes through. Nope.
Didn't do this form. Didn't fill out that thing. Didn't get that field checked off right. Yeah.
All right. Here's what Alabama head coach Nick Saban had to say. I don't know how you manage a roster when this goes into effect. I can't manage our roster now. Last year, we had 8 seniors on our team. We had 7 guys go out for the draft, 3 graduate transfers or guys that ended up transferring. So instead of having 18 seniors, you've got 8. You really have a 3-year program in a place like this. I'm not necessarily saying it's going to hurt our program because we'll do a hell of a job recruiting players leaving other places to come here, but is that good for college football? What a BS take. This is coming from the dude who recruit guys and quote, gray shirt them,
Yeah.
where he sends him to a JUCO with a promise to come in because he recruited more scholarship positions than he had.
That's your definition of gray shirt? Because there's the other one where they come to school, they like enroll in part-time classes.
Oh,
so
right,
their
right.
clock
So they
doesn't
don't.
start-
Yeah.
The dude who just finds all the ways around this shit. Like, Nick, stop. Just stop.
That's the coldest take in his mind there. I can't stand
Freezer
that one.
meat, yo.
It's definitely freezer meat. Here's what Todd Berry, the director of the American Football Coaches Association, had to say. He said, "We don't want to lower graduation rates." They don't care about that.
Dude, they don't graduate anyways.
We don't want recruiting off other campuses. I don't think I'm talking irrationally here because history already tells us what's going to happen. What would be the motivation for universities to recruit from high schools anymore? You're basically going to recruit off other campuses. Depending on where you are in the food chain, it's going to affect how many high school athletes you would actually take. From a coaching perspective, many times it's easier to take a proven player off another campus. I don't think the fan bases are going to enjoy this either.
Right, because I'd rather have Everett Golson than, what's his name? Sunshine from Clemson.
Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah.
Right,
I was going to say Tyler Luck. I'm like, definitely have that dude. He can bag my groceries, so that's about it. But, like, that's still the same thing, though. There is elite talent coming out of high school that will play immediately.
Absolutely.
True freshmen play in college football.
Well, and this one kind of goes hand in hand with this other hot take. This is from an anonymous Power 5 coach who said, Group of 5, it's going to kill them. They're going to be our G League. They'll be our little amateur league where we'll draw good players from. Every kid wants to play in the Power 5. I don't care what you say. That's what you want. Now, that could be the case where you start taking these guys from like a UCF when it's really good, and you bring up a quarterback who did really well at UCF, and now you can get him into Alabama. That's fine, and maybe that's where the high school players go, is to the lower school, the group of 5 schools, and in a way that could help them because now we get some parity in college football. Like I'm okay with that.
Right? They'll go somewhere. They're like, look, I can sit behind these 2 5-star quarterbacks.
Right.
I'm going to go pop out to UCF, knock it out for a year, crush the AAC,
and then go back.
And maybe I get a playoff bid because let's be honest, they're going to 8 teams.
Yeah,
They're going to go to 8 teams at some point soon, and so the Notre Dame will have the honor of losing in the first round like every 3rd year. I can't wait for that day. Like honestly, Sherm, I stay awake late at night thinking about it. It's going to be great. Oh my God, Tommy Reese.
You can't
Call that
wait.
draw.
You
Call
can't
that draw again.
You can't wait for ND to just lose it every single year.
Dude, we're always gonna be trash until we fire BK. He made, he really proved himself last year with the Impossible Whopper. But after that, like I'm like, cool. Like, what have you done for me lately?
Speaking of Notre Dame, this was another hot take that came in on this one.
John Swafford, shut up. No one wants to talk to you anymore. Go
Actually,
away.
hold on. Pump the brakes on
still
dissing John
don't care.
Swafford.
Still don't care.
Hang on. We're going to wait for the music to kick back up because this one deserves full hot take status. This is what John Swafford, the ACC
time, though,
commissioner, said.
Sorry, I'm going to cut in because next time we need to get Jimmy Buffett shirts to throw on.
We
for
do
this,
need
this
to,
segment.
yeah.
We need to do that.
For sure.
Yeah. But so, okay, tell me what John said.
He said,
Yeah.
after a lot of discussion around the table, RADs and faculty reps came to a unanimous decision that they felt like considering the issues related to the exceptions around the transfer and seeming inconsistencies that have occurred, and coupled with the fact that 4 of our sports, 5 if you separate men's and women's basketball, have one set of rules and the other sports have another, this was part of the evolvement of modernizing the model we have, and the right side of the issue that we should be on is giving more freedom to the athletes without just an open book that would give the one-time transfer to every student athlete if they chose to do so. John Swafford basically saying, yeah, let them do them. Let them make that decision on their own.
Pass.
No, you're anti-Swafford stance here?
Dude, guy just used 150 words in 2 sentences. I don't understand what the hell he said.
I mean, he's going to have his normal speak around it that's, got to kind of double it up a little bit. But the basis of his statement was saying, and Swarbrick came out and said the same thing, that he sat with everybody in the ACC. The ACC and the Big Ten are both on board with this. They're okay with letting these kids make these moves.
Right, because they're trying to gobble up Alabama's leftovers.
Yeah, there you go. That's
That's
fine. Yeah.
But again, at the end of the day, I'm for it. Like, let the kids have a free transfer. Like, you got to figure it out. Like, you guys want to talk about competitiveness and fairness to play. Like, no. Like, these are college kids. These are 18-year-olds trying to figure out where to spend the next 5 years of their life. They're
Right.
going to get it wrong.
Well, it was hilarious to read the takes from the coaches. This has been Hot Take Barbecue. It was hilarious to read the takes from the coaches where they're like, I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know how I'm supposed to manage this. Like, this is going to be really tough for me. But then the kids are like, yeah, please let me do this. Why wouldn't you let me do this?
Look, so, some kid that goes down to I don't know, Boise, that realizes that Boise is going to be trash and not going to be making a quality playoff game, or that he's not going to be the starting quarterback in time, deserves the right to transfer to Miami to just soak up the babes for a while. You know what I mean? Like, look, I appreciate a guy who's going to shoot his shot, go out to Washington to try to get drafted in the NFL. But sometimes things don't work out. Sometimes you tear a rotator cuff. Like sometimes, some dude comes in behind you that's like a 6-star or whatever, and you're going to lose your shots. Like, let that guy go and like soak it up for the 3 years that he has a shot. Because it's never going to get better for him ever after that, unless he goes into the XFL and crushes it. Because let me tell you, the quarterback play there, leaves a lot to be desired.
So I think there may be something to what you just said as to why the NCAA is starting to float this idea, because I think they may feel a little threatened that there could be some kids who come out of high school and make that choice to go to the XFL and play there until the NFL changes their rules and allows kids right out of high school to get drafted, which I don't think will ever happen just based on the size discrepancy and trying to be an 18-year-old kid playing against some of these guys in the NFL is never really going to happen. But I do think that there is something to being able to combat the XFL as a stepping stone league, and the NCAA needs to protect their golden goose, and that golden goose is the players. They got to do what they can to keep that free labor. Exactly. Free. So they're like, you know what? You guys want to make some money off your name? Yeah, that's cool. Oh, you want to transfer one time? Okay, cool. Yeah, you can transfer one time.
So when do we get NCAA football back then? If we're gonna start loosening the rules up, when can I start recruiting high school kids on Xbox? That's all I want to know. That's the key. You've been pitching this for a while, and I don't necessarily disagree. It's going to take a long time to get there because the facilities, the training, the coaching in the XFL is just not there, and it's going to take some time. But
sure.
I could see it being something where a guy that's going to the supplemental player draft or something could use it as another way to get extra tape.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Or a guy from a smaller school can go in there and play against some of these bigger school guys and prove himself. And that gives him a shot to get quality stuff, to get called to a regional combine or, I see how it could work. I just don't see anyone skipping college football to go play in the XFL per se.
I think we're not. It's not like it's going to happen next year, but I think it's something that could happen.
Sure, but 2045, right?
Nice foreshadow on that one. All right. Before we have our guests coming on here, we want to give a shout out to our sponsor, More Labs. If you guys are out drinking, you're partying, you need to get back to work the next day. You got to get into those meetings. You got to take care of the kids,
or even just show up.
You just got to be awake. You don't want to wake up feeling terrible. Head on over to morelabs.com. Use the code SPORTS. Get yourself some morning recovery. Basically, you're going to wake up feeling great the next day. Guaranteed, or your money back. You take one bottle up to an hour after you're done drinking, you're going to bounce back, guaranteed. It is the way to go. We do it all the time here on this show.
Oh, absolutely.
It's the only way I can function.
Hashtag Saturday night.
So be sure to hit up morelabs.com. Use the code SPORTS. Get 20% off your entire order. All right, let's get into our interview for the night. We have joining us on the drunk line right now a linebacker from Villanova, NFL hopeful, Drew Wiley. Drew, how's it going, man?
Hey, how you doing?
Good, man. Thanks for joining us tonight. Really appreciate you taking some time out, bud.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for having me on.
All right, man.
Wait, hold on. What are you taking time out of? What were you doing before this? You playing some Xbox? What's up? What you doing? Training?
Just playing Madden.
Nice. That's what I'm talking about.
Who's the team you play as in Madden?
Well, I just play normally Ultimate Team.
I was just gonna say he's gonna go Ultimate Team. That's solid, man. That is hard though. That's a lot of work.
Drew, do you feel a little upset that you have to play Madden and you can't play as yourself playing at Villanova in an NCAA football game?
No, not really. I mean, there hasn't been one NCAA football game since 2013.
Yeah, 2014.
When I was younger, but they only had the big schools. I mean, the they'd probably just have us as like FCS like East or something. Like when you look at the schedule. Yeah, they'd probably have us like that or something in there.
Did you create yourself as a player in Madden?
No, I have not. Like I just play Ultimate Team. I like playing with like the legends and like the current players like mixed together.
Dude, you put in the work too, though, because those guys are not cheap.
Yeah, it's a lot of grinding.
Yeah, I respect that. So hey, yo, teams out there, Drew's a grinder. He will put in the work that's necessary.
Is that going to go on the draft profile here? He's a grinder. He's playing as the Ultimate Team.
His Ultimate Team is on fleek.
Drew, we were just talking before we got you on the line here about the proposal that got floated by the NCAA today, where they're basically proposing allowing guys a one-time transfer. What do you think about that as a former college athlete, now a college football player? Do you think that's good for the sport, or do you think that's going to have some detrimental impact?
I definitely think it's good for the sport because, you see throughout the years of college football, college sports in general, you see these guys get recruited by certain coaches, and then these coaches end up taking different jobs. And so you might not feel as comfortable in that place that you were recruited by. So then it allows you to go get recruited by someone else and go to a school that fits what you want.
My man, that's exactly what I said. I mean, word for word, that's exactly what I said, that you got to give those kids a chance to move. Did you ever consider transferring out of Villanova?
No, never. Villanova's a great school.
Great
football, great academics.
So is that what drew you?
Terrible basketball, right?
Yeah, they actually just won like a couple seconds ago. They just took down St. John's.
Yeah, we're two Xavier guys here, man.
I was about to throw shit, and I was like, come on now.
Right.
Is there
Sorry
any
about Saturday?
Yeah, thanks, man. Appreciate
that. Better team won. The better team won.
No excuses, but Xavier did have a pretty heavy outfit that they wore into the stadium that night. So, so let me ask you, man, is there any beef on Villanova's campus between football players and basketball players?
Oh, no, not at all. I mean, the basketball players, Coach Wright, he does a great job. He does a good job not only recruiting good players, but also, for the most part, they're all really good dudes. So it's cool.
Is it tough? I grew up in Northeast Ohio where football was king. I'm a big football fan, and growing up, it always seemed like the football players ruled the school. But it seems like at Villanova, the basketball players, it's considered a basketball school. Do you get the feeling that the basketball players get a little special treatment that the football players might not?
They bring in more money every year, but it's definitely a basketball school. But we don't, as the football team, we don't let that bother us. It's not something that we envy the basketball team. We just get in there every day and grind and hopefully be as good as we can.
You're a better man than I am, because I'd be super jealous. I'd be like, screw them dudes.
Who wouldn't, honestly?
No, if they were ignorant and weren't cool people, maybe them, but all of them are really good guys.
That's good. That's good to hear. All right, so what do you consider, man, the highlight of your college career at Villanova?
Definitely this past season we went. This past season was probably the highlight of my career. Coming out off 2 losing seasons in a row, a lot of guys demotivated, not really happy with what was going on, and then for us to come out this year to go 9-3 and make the playoffs and be one of the older guys, one of the leaders of the team, that was very big for me. I was really glad to get back to the playoffs.
I got to be honest. Actually, I remember watching your playoff game. It was on ESPN Plus or ESPN College or whatever. So thanks for losing me money, but it's fine. But no, that's cool. Because again, I am curious. So you came from Cedar Rapids, right?
Cedar Rapids?
Iowa? Nope. Did I find the room? Damn it.
Wrong dude, man.
Yeah, that's what I get for trying to research ahead of time. I'm ahead. Sorry about that. That's apologies. What's it like playing college ball in Philly, though?
It's great. The Villanova, we play in the CAA, which is a lot of people say is the SEC of the FCS. Every week there's a team that you play, and you never know what the outcome is going to be, regardless of what their record is. And it was great. I played a lot of interesting games. Over my time, we played at Pitt my sophomore year, at UConn my freshman year, and we played at Temple twice, my junior and senior year. So that was cool to be able to play in some NFL stadiums as well. But yeah, it was a great experience. I'm glad I chose Villanova.
Is there a benefit to being where you are with all those teams, kind of like co-locate or like in the same kind of spot? Like, do you guys all push each other to be better, or do you run into anyone in training sessions and stuff in the off season?
No, not really. I mean, obviously, like we play Temple every year. I mean, the 2 times we played Temple, they've been great games. Like we lost on a game-winning field goal the first time, and then the last time we played them, we beat them. I mean, I mean, going through like the camp circuit and stuff when I was getting recruited. I mean, definitely there's some guys that are on Temple now that like you see on the field and stuff like that. And like, I don't know, it's like you want to be better than them, but you never know how things are going to turn out. But there's no like, oh, Philly, like it's Nova versus Temple football. There is no type of feel like that.
Are the Nova football fans as shall we say aggressive as other Philadelphia sports fans? Like, are Nova football fans like throwing batteries at Santa Claus and stuff?
Does Santa come to Nova football games?
No. We have we have like a tight knit fan base. I mean, there's not that many of them, but the ones that come and are dedicated, they show out well. So. They're not that aggressive. They're good sports.
All right, that's good to hear, man. Because those Philly fans, I hear, can be brutal.
Oh, they're rough, man.
We were talking too before we got you on the horn about the playoffs potentially expanding in the FBS. You played 4 years in the FCS, where you guys have a true, quote unquote, true playoff format where you have 24 different teams that make it in. It's a large scale event. Do you think something like that could ever work at the FBS level, or is there too much involved at that level?
I don't know. I mean, the FBS, I mean, when you look at it, it's too focused around like the Power 5.
Yeah.
So you wouldn't be able to like say like how like the NCAA tournament like for basketball does it, like the guaranteed like conference bids, like, and like how they do that in our playoff bracket. You couldn't do that for like the MAC or like the Mountain West Conference or stuff like that. So I think honestly, as the FBS, like the furthest they could go with expanding it would probably be to 8 teams, but that's about it. Well, nothing like what we have.
Well, I was gonna say I hear that, and it just honestly, are they putting the money before the game? Like, is that what it is? Because I understand what you're saying, but at the same time, I can't imagine it'd be that hard to identify the top 4, the top 8 in the nation playing at that level and figure out how to get some stadiums for them to play a football game in.
Are you talking about for the FBS?
For the SBS, yeah, because you guys have it figured out. Like, because they always want to lean on, the student athletes. Well, like FCS, y'all have it figured out, and you put out a great product, and it's highly entertaining. So clearly, there's a pattern or there's a plan to make it work.
Yeah, I mean, the FCS does do a great job. I mean, I really like our playoff format. I wish we made it more, but it was still cool to be a part of it.
Well, but you made it your senior year when you were a captain leader on the field, right? So, like, clearly they just need to put you in a more prominent role.
I guess.
You don't have to be humble with us, man.
Hey, it's fine. We got your back, Drew. Like, it's all good, man. Like 52 for life. Let's go.
Let's shift a little here, Drew. How would you classify how you play the game?
I would like to say I'm a disruptor. I might not make every play, but the plays I make, they have an impact on the offense, on how they go to the next play. I get a lot of tackles for loss, a lot of sacks, a lot of pass deflections, a lot of interceptions, stuff that gives the offense headaches.
Who's the guy at the next level that you're looking at like, that's the dude I want to give headaches to?
Like on offense?
Yeah, who's your if you get drafted, who's the one dude that you're like, I can't wait to rip that dude's head off?
I mean,